So Spider-Man Brand New Day is shaping up to be a massive movie from Marvel with still a ton of mysteries us fans have been trying to theorize. So today, I'm giving my top 5 predictions for Spider-Man Brand New Day, and make sure to like, subscribe, as I pretty much pumped out a Spider-Man Brand New Day related video every day this month, so make sure to check those out, and let's get into the video. And at number 5, we'll get a Spider-Man Street Hero montage. And one thing this movie absolutely needs is a montage showing what the heck Peter's been up to since the ending of Spider-Man No Way Home. Because remember, the ending of that movie completely reset Peter's life. Nobody remembers him, and he's now fully operating as a classic street-level Spider-Man. So I think Brand New Day opens with a montage showing Peter maybe saving people during the Void's attack on New York during Thunderbolts, and maybe show him defending himself from anti-vigilante task force agents, because, my guy, where were you in Daredevil Born Again? So I think that'd be nice to see a montage that could also help this movie from not having too many villains. So I think Marvel may use this similarly to the opening montage in Fantastic Four First Steps, where they rapidly showed the Fantastic Four fighting villains like Mole Man, Red Ghost, and Matt Thinker to establish their history quickly. So we could have Peter taking out classic Spider-Man villains that are confirmed in this movie, like Boomerang and Tarantula, in this montage. At number 4, I think Damage Control will become the MCU's early mutant hunting division. And one of the most interesting things happening in the MCU right now is a growing fear toward enhanced people. And I think the Department of Damage Control is slowly becoming the MCU's prototype version of a mutant control organization. Because if you really look at their history in the MCU, there's definitely a pattern Marvel's doing. In Spider-Man No Way Home, Damage Control aggressively hunted Peter Parker after Mysterio exposed his identity. Then in the Miss Marvel show, they targeted Kamala Khan, who was later confirmed to be a mutant. And in the Wonder Man show, they were straight up targeting Simon Williams. And with rumors that Sadie Sink may be playing the mutant Jean Grey or another mutant character, I think Brand New Day could quietly set up the MCU's future anti-mutant paranoia. And if that's true, then Brand New Day may secretly be laying the groundwork for the MCU's X-Men future while still functioning as a Spider-Man movie. And at number 3, I think Bruce Banner will basically become the MCU's version of Dr. Curt Connors. I think Bruce Banner is basically going to fill the same narrative role that Curt Connors played in the classic Spider-Man stories. Because when you really think about it, the similarities are kind of insane. In many Spider-Man stories, Curtis Connors acts as Peter's scientific mentor, someone Peter trusts intellectually, and eventually, a monster Peter has to stop after science goes wrong. So let's now take a look at Bruce Banner and Brand New Day, where Peter's reportedly dealing with some kind of physical evolution or DNA mutation, and Bruce Banner is one of the greatest scientific minds in the MCU. And obviously we know he transforms into the monster known as the Hulk, that's literally the exact same, structural role as Curt Connors. And since the MCU seemingly doesn't have an active Curt Connors right now, Marvel may simply use Banner to fulfill that archetype. Especially because Banner understands transforming better than almost anyone in existence. That's what makes him the perfect mentor for Peter during a mutation storyline. So if Peter's condition worsens throughout the movie, Bruce may attempt to help scientifically, only for his own Hulk side to emerge once again in the process. Which, in trailer number 2, we eventually do see actually happen. And if Spider-Man eventually has to stop a fully unleashed Hulk while struggling with his own mutation, that's some pretty solid character parallels going on, because he's actually going against what he's fighting inside, and showing that if he doesn't deal with his mutation, or maybe if he doesn't embrace it, that's what may become of it. And at number 2, I think Mr. Negative is the secret main villain, not Jean Grey. One of the biggest mysteries surrounding this movie is the psychic threat teased throughout the trailers. We hear characters talk about a threat they can't see, and I just can't bring myself to believe that Sadie Sink is really playing Jean Grey. And that's where Mr. Negative comes in. For those who don't know, Martin Lee is one of Spider-Man's most popular modern villains. On the surface, he's a respected businessman and philanthropist who runs Feast, a charitable organization dedicated to helping the homeless and people in need. But underneath that public image, Lee secretly operates as the crime lord known as Mr. Negative. And what makes him different from typical Spider-Man villains is that his powers aren't just physical. Mr. Negative can corrupt people, influence behavior, and bring out the darkest parts of someone's personality. In many stories, people exposed to his powers become more aggressive, violent, and unstable, and maybe he's actually the one that triggers Peter's mutation. Because in the second trailer, we do see how Peter's become more aggressive and hurts Scorpion badly because his mutation just takes over and allows him not to pull his punches. And while his powers aren't traditional telepathy like Jean Grey, it absolutely fits the idea of a threat that can influence people without physically attacking them. And here's where things get even more interesting. Feast already exists in the MCU. In Spider-Man No Way Home, Aunt May worked at Feast. Peter volunteered there, and the organization has already been established in his universe. Marvel really didn't need to include Feast, but they still did. And comic readers know that whenever Feast exists, Martin Lee usually isn't far behind. And that's why I think Marvel may be setting us up for a big time twist, similar to, the Vulture being the dad in a Homecoming twist. The trailers want us focused on the obvious villains. They want us talking about Scorpion, they want us talking about the Hand, and they want us debating whether Hulk will be a friend or foe. But what if all those characters are simply pieces on the board? What if the person truly pulling the strings is someone we haven't seen in the trailers yet, and it's not Sadie Sink's character? It would also explain why Marvel has been so secretive about the main threat, especially Sadie Sink. Most fans immediately jumped to Jean Grey the second she was cast, but what if Marvel wants us to think she's Jean Grey? What if the psychic clues are a deliberate distraction? If Mr. Negative is manipulating people throughout the movie, then audiences may spend the entire film expecting one reveal only to get something completely different. It would be classic Marvel misdirection. And maybe Sadie Sink is playing someone like Firestar and is actually being protected by the Punisher in this film because Damage Control is hunting her for her powers. And if that happens, it would be one of the smartest twists Marvel's pulled off in years because the clues have been sitting right in front of us ever since Aunt May first stepped foot inside Feast. And coming in at number 1, the prediction I am most confident in is that Daredevil is not in this movie. And I know this prediction, throw the tomatoes at me, okay? Boo! But I think Marvel and Sony are intentionally manipulating audience expectations here. Because after Spider-Man No Way Home, both studios learned how powerful hidden character marketing can become. The second fans realized Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield may have been digitally removed from the trailer shots, the internet exploded. And now with Brand New Day, the exact same thing is happening again with this shot in the trailer. It looks very much like the wide shot we saw in the No Way Home trailer that removed Andrew and Tobey's Spider-Man. So since we see ninjas from the ancient crime organization called The Hand, which is heavily involved in Daredevil lore, people are automatically assuming Daredevil must be edited out. And what also supports this theory people are coming up with is that, at the end of Daredevil Born Again, Daredevil ends up in jail, and you guessed it, we see a ninja fight with Spider-Man in a jail. But honestly, I think the prison storyline is actually about Scorpion. Because remember, Matt Gargan was last seen in prison in Spider-Man Homecoming, and now Scorpion is officially returning. So what if the reason the Hand appears at the prison isn't to assassinate Matt Murdock, but instead to break out Scorpion? And it may sound really weird, but I think it could be because the Hand recruit dangerous people, and Scorpion already hates Spider-Man. Plus, if Matt is still incarcerated following Daredevil Born Again Season 2, Marvel likely won't resolve that storyline in a Spider-Man movie before Season 3 handles it properly. So personally, I think Marvel wants fans expecting Daredevil, but I don't think he's going to be a major player in the film. However, if he is in the movie, then oh my goodness, seeing Spider-Man, the Punisher, and Daredevil take on the Hand would literally be a dream come true. So please make it happen. I don't want to be right, but I am very confident he's not in this movie. But those are my top 5 predictions for Spider-Man Brand New Day, and I will be going live tomorrow reacting to Marvel's live Comic-Con panel, so stay tuned for that. But make sure to like, subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and God bless you all.